Welcome to the Tony the Prophet channel for week 5. I got to tell you, in the NFL, when it's too good to be true, it probably is. We were on the Chargers -6, and that game was a smell game. 85% of the bets are on the Chargers, and the line never moved. And that should have been our cue to get off it, but we stayed with it. I mean, Herbert was 3-0. He was number one in yards per game, 310 yards. He had 6 touchdowns, 1 interception, and 105.5 passer rating that was 7th. And basically what happened, the big issue in the game, the O-line got hurt. All was out. Beckham went down, the center went down, and the Giants decided to rush. They had a 48% pressure rate, and Herbert threw 2 picks. And they kind of caught up at the end. They got Hampton running, but it was too little too late, and they lost by a field goal. And the other game is the Packers, okay, playing against the worst defense in the NFL, and they are a fraud. You can cash in any tickets you bought for them to win the NFC and go to the championship game, because I'm telling you, based on that performance, they're not going anywhere, okay? Dallas didn't have CeeDee Lamb, and they give up 40 points against Dallas. The game ends in the tie. They started out okay. They got the extra point blocked that turned the whole game around. Dallas got 2 points, and from there on, it was an even game. And, it's tough. Those should have been easy wins, but nothing's easy in the NFL. So we move on to this week with 4 byes. And the first game I'm taking New England plus 8.5. Buffalo is 1-9 against the spread as a double-digit favorite. Now this isn't double digits, but it's close enough. New England actually in the last 5 games against Buffalo is 4-1 against the spread. Last 4 games with Buffalo, the margin of victory has only been 5 points. So these games have been relatively close, even though Buffalo's usually been the superior team. So I'm predicting this game should be a 1-score game. These teams are 2-2 in the last 4 games. People wouldn't believe that. New England D is third against the run, which is basically how Buffalo's been winning these games with Cook and Allen, and they throw when they have to. And Buffalo's 31st versus the rush. So if they can get Ramondre and Hendrickson running, this could be a closer game. Basically New England can be in this game if they don't give it away. They had the 5 picks against Pittsburgh, which was disgraceful, but they came back nicely against a bad Carolina team last week. So, so for Buffalo to win, they're going to have to throw. So, it should be a better game for Shakir, Coleman, and Kincaid. So I have a Buffalo 30-24. The other better team, they win, but they don't cover, and that's game 1. And next game we're going to Indy -6.5. I got 6.5 in bet early. I think there's some 6.5s out there, but there's 7. I don't think it's going to matter. Even if it's 7, if it's closer, you push. Again, could be a smell game. They should kill. In this game, but the only thing that worries me is that Geno plays better on the road. Vegas, they won against New England, and they had a better game, even though they lost. He had some stats against Washington, and he was a turnover machine against the Chargers and the Bears last week. I was surprised that Geno threw that game away. But Indy 3-1 against the spread. Las Vegas 1-3 against the spread. Indy is surprisingly a good offense. 4th in points 31, 4th in pass 8 in the rush. Indy number 1 in yards per play at 6.46 yards per play. So they should have an easy time at home. They could be undefeated. If the what's his name? Mitchell doesn't throw the ball away going into the end zone, and he fumbled on another one. So uh, he really cost him the game. So uh, you know, the Raiders unleashed Genty finally. They finally got him going, so he should be a factor in the game. But Indy can handle him. So I have an Indy 31-19. I think it's a comfortable win for them. They get back home, and so that's game two. Next game, I'm taking Denver plus 4.5. Even though Philly's 4-0, they're a team with an anemic offense at this point. If C.D. Lamb in week one doesn't drop the bomb that he threw to him, they lose that game. They played okay against Kansas City in week two. They needed a miracle field goal block return for a touchdown. That was 1 in 10,000 to beat the Rams. They were losing 26-7 in that game until they finally figured out that A.J. Brown couldn't be covered by the shorter corners, and they used him in the second half to come back. But that was a miracle win, and they were leading comfortably against Tampa Bay and almost choked it at the end. I think if Tampa Bay had more time, they might have hung on and won. So the prolific run game of last year is gone. Okay. If the Philly pass game doesn't exist, they're 31st in the league, 114 yards a game. A.J. Brown is non-existent. He's had games of 8, 27, and 7 yards. It's just unbelievable. I didn't take him a Smith in any of my fantasy teams because I know Philly doesn't throw. They usually throw at 20 passes or less. They've been relying on the run. That's how they won games last year. But Saquon has been anemic also. He's had games of 60, 88, 46, and 43 yards. Here's a guy who's getting 100 yards a game. He had over 2,000 yards of all-purpose offense, and they kept him out last year in the Giants game in the fourth quarter. He could have more yards there, and at the end of the season, they kept him out of games. So Philly with the new coordinator, they're just not clicking at this point. And, this week, Surtain's going to take out A.J. Brown again. Denver's going to run the ball, the 5th versus the run, and Philly's 21st versus the run. So that's the key to victory for them. I'm setting Bo Nix. I have him in one of my teams. I don't think he's going to have a big day. Philly's very good against quarterbacks, keeping their production down. I think it's a low-scoring game. It's the over/under is just around is 41.5. I think that it's just about that. I think it's a field goal game. Philly always figures out a way at the end to win. If you have guts, play Denver on the money line. But I have a Philly 23-30, 20-17, something like that. It's a field goal game, so take the points. In the last game I have Detroit minus 10.5. Not a lot of analysis here. I think it's a smash spot for Detroit. They're better at home, but I don't think it matters against a Cincinnati team that is just pathetic. It's a miracle they have 2 wins. I don't think they may not win another game for the rest of the year. They're coming off a short week on a bad Monday night loss, 28-3, which could have been more. They never showed up. They never got off the bus. Cincinnati D, here you go. 27th in points given up, 30 in pass yards given up, 26 in rush yards given up, 32nd in time on the field for the Cincy defense, and they threw away Lou Anarumo, who was the only good thing they had there last year. 31st in number of plays given up, and 26 in yards per play at 5.7 yards per play. And the offense isn't much better. 30th in points scored, 30th in pass yards, 32nd in rush yards, 50 yards a game. Chase Brown was a machine last year. Thank God I was trying to grab him in the fantasy leagues, and guys sniped me. So it's their loss, not mine. 32nd in time of possession at 25 minutes. So this is an easy game. They're 32nd in yards per play. 3.9. They can't even get 4 yards. It's 3.93 yards a play. They can't even get 4 yards a play on offense. Detroit's been